Hey everyone, it is Katie. Hey, I hope you're doing really well. It's been forever since I've been live with you, so I'm just really happy to be here. We had a fantastic question come up in the group just yesterday, and that question was kind of what do you think when you hear people say, I am God or we are God? This is something that we hear all the time in different metaphysical circles and communities. It's something that Wayne Dyer would say a lot. He felt very comfortable saying, I am God. So I want to break this down, give you some of my thoughts on it. I'm not the definitive source. I just want to give you some food for thought so that you can start to make up your own mind about it. This is actually something that I talk about quite a lot in the programs where I provide mentorship and to show people how to incorporate metaphysics into their Christian journey. So if that is something that appeals to you, reach out and let me know, because this is something I think that we can't really give a pat answer to. So I'm going to talk about this first, kind of from the perspective that I see and hear a lot, which is that we all have divinity within us. We are creations of the divine. And usually people that are going to say, I am God, are going to talk about God as source, as infinite love, maybe as kind of a being, or maybe not, maybe as the energy that sources all of the universe, or maybe as like divine love. So however it is that you think about God. But generally, that statement means that we are all on our way, on our journey towards divinity, and that we are God. Like we are becoming more and more perfect with every breath, with every incarnation. And that, like, literally, the stuff that makes up God makes us up too. So, therefore, literally, we are God. Like, we are composed of God material. And so, that's, I think, in a nutshell, I'm probably simplifying that a lot, but that is the perspective that I hear a lot. So, what do Jesus followers do with this? We have such a variety of ways to follow Jesus here within the group and with the people that I serve. So there's no one way, and there's no one perspective on Jesus that is like the way. There are a lot. But so I'm going to start with this. Christians have really classically affirmed throughout our 2,000 years of working this out that Christ lives within us, and that Christ has given us the Holy Spirit to live within us, to have that Christ spark within us. And that every single day on our journey, we are endeavoring to become more like Christ. And that's what it is to have Christ within us. Paul talks about this a lot. He talks about like Jesus within, and how that relationship, how that divine spark within us continues to shape us and form us, and hopefully make us better, smooth out our rough edges. As you know, the spiritual journey takes a bit of work. It doesn't just happen like magic. It's something that we have to be conscious of. And we have to be conscious of the times when we're not Christ-like, so that we can maybe do a little bit better next time. At least that's been true in my journey. If any of you got this perfectly from the get-go, let us know how you managed to do that. And so we've always affirmed that Jesus is within us, that the Christ Spirit is within us. And in that sense, we do have a bit of God within us. We do have a bit of the divine within us as we nurture and hone that relationship. On the flip side, if we say we are God, that opens the door to a lot of abuses. And this isn't going to be a surprise to anyone, but if someone says, well, no, I am God, so everything that I do is correct, like I'm without fault, or I am God, and so when I do something that's really horrific, or when I physically harm someone, no, like it's I'm God, so I can do that. So we have that particular way that this statement could be really abused, and that sometimes, I'm just saying, sometimes I see people make this kind of statement in a megalomaniac kind of way, and they're trying to justify their own action and say that they are, like, what they do has no consequences, or what they do, they don't have to be responsible or responsive to people in relationship to others. Obviously, there's a lot of people who say this who don't feel that way at all, and are very ethical and are in good relationship to others. So what I'm saying is, you can have toxic people within Christianity. You can have toxic people in the metaphysical community who may not identify as Christians. And then you have really ethical people in there. And they could all say something like, I am God. My particular perspective is, I don't think I've ever said the words, I am God. I do say with great comfort and a lot of comfortability that God resides within me, within you, within all of us, in our deepest pit of being human. When we don't feel very Christ-like, God is still within us. And then at our very highest high, when we are incarnating, fulfilling our mission and purpose, learning our lessons, living at the highest level possible, then God is still within us. And I don't think that that's escapable. I can try to deny that God is within me, but it doesn't actually change that I believe God is within me and within all of us. And what is truly transformative for me is that I have to remember God is also within that person over there who I don't like very much. God is also within my enemies. God is also within the people who are doing violence, who are not expressing their highest version of themselves, for those who are doing injustice. And that God is very much within those who are also suffering. And so God is truly within all of us. So that is, for me, the Christian affirmation that we recognize the spark of God lives in humanity, in all of creation, in all of the earth. So rather than, for me, this is just for me, rather than saying, I am God, I say that God, a part of God does dwell within me, and my soul is intimately connected with God here, right now, here on planet Earth, and the lives I've lived before, and the lives I will live in the future. And that soul, my soul, is made up of the essence of heaven or of God's stuff. And I personally, this is just me again, personally, I think that my soul gets to retain its individuality. So, in that sense, I am always connected to God. I am of God, but I am not God. Sounds familiar, right? So this is actually really classic Christian stuff. So this is actually part of the mystery that we all get to live with. So from that, I actually do mildly disagree with I think the common understanding in metaphysical communities when people just sort of walk around saying, I am God, you are God, you are God. I think there's an element of truth to that. I personally am more comfortable saying God dwells within me and within you and within all of us. And it's that point that connects us and makes us one, and also makes us wildly and uniquely distinct. And we certainly see that here on the planet. We don't all think the same. We don't all do things the same. So one thing I do really like about this concept and wrestling with this and working with this concept is this. Lots of Christianity wants to say we're all worms. Like God doesn't dwell in you at all. Like your heart has nothing to do with God. I think this is a healthier way to approach how we value ourselves. Not that we're worms, but that we are whole, beautiful creations in which the flicker, the spark of God is always there, and that we can grow that spark within us. To me, that's a much healthier way to enter into relationship with the divine, rather than saying we have to really, really work to find God within us. If we can start with the assumption that Christ always dwells within us, then what's next? Then we get to live into that beautiful reality and grow into it. To me, that's a much better starting place. So, you kind of have to pick your poison here. So this is such a fantastic question. I really, really love that this came up. Y'all, let me know what you think. Let me know what your comments are. Put those below. This is something that I do talk about in my mentorship and that we wrestle with, because what you think about this actually does determine how you grow and strategize the rest of your spiritual journey. So I think it's worthwhile to pin this down a little bit for yourself. Be open to changing your mind, to growing, to seeing how all this is going to come together. And of course, Jesus does tell us that we will do greater things than him. And so that Christ's spark, that God's spark within us, empowers us to continue to grow in our spiritual journeys. And that's just super, super amazing. I'm really, really thrilled about that. Okay, y'all, reach out to me, comment below with questions and comments. Reach out to me if you're really, really wanting to explore this further, and we can be in touch around that. And wonderful, everyone. Great to see y'all, and I will talk to you soon.